What is up, everybody? Welcome back to today's video. In the last video I gave you guys a sneak peek of the car and the turbo engine that I've been building for it, and today we're going to actually get into assembling the motor, putting the head on, putting the studs in, bolting the oil pan on, going over all the accessories, because the dyno is in 2 weeks and I don't have a whole lot of time to finish this up, get it in there, get it ready for E85 and have all the fab work done for the intercooler piping, the downpipe, all that stuff. So luckily the car was turboed once before, so it shouldn't be too bad, but still got to get this engine assembled and hopefully we get that done today. So we're going to try it. Let's go. Alright, so here we go. This is a M52 that was bored out to 85 mil pistons using an S52 crank and S52 rods, but I'm going to go over some of the basic stuffs we got on here. So 85 millimeter Wiseco pistons. We have ARP hardware all on the bottom. We have Eagle rods on the bottom. Something that I like to run on these motors is an S54 oil filter housing. This thing bolts right up. Still uses the stock filter, uses the stock alternator and everything, but it does have these two ports right here. These both go to an external oil cooler that I have plumbed and hooked. Basically it sits right behind the kidney grills right there, but this is a bolt-on piece. They're not that expensive and it makes it so you can run an oil cooler. I don't really like those cheesy like sandwich plates that go here, but a lot of people run them, but that's just not for me. So I had this engine completely assembled and beautifully machined by my buddy Travis D'Souza. He works in a shop with JP building sick engines all throughout the Northeast. Go check them out if you can. I'll link them in the description, but they're the only people I trust with my motors, so shout out to them. We're pretty much ready to go. This thing's actually already at top dead center for cylinder 1, which is how you can see that this is right here at the top. But I have to copper spray my multi-layer steel head gasket, thread in my ARP head studs, and once this head gasket is nice and tacky, put it on with the dowels that I still have to install here and here, and it should go right on and torque it to spec, and this thing should be on in no time. So check this out, we're running a 0.030 inch MLS 85 mil, tiny little guy. Alright, so now that we got the head gasket drying with the copper spray, I'm going to start threading in the ARP head studs with a little bit of that ARP grease. Bottom them all out. I don't like to torque the head studs, I just kind of bottom them out, just enough so that they're snug, and that's all it really needs. Then after that, I just got to wait for the head gasket to dry and I can just drop the head right down. Alright, so now that the head gasket's ready to go, it's time to put the head on. And you'll see that I turned the motor 90 degrees. Not many people do this. I know that this is really kind of only an outside of the car type of thing, but this makes it a lot easier when you're doing it by yourself. So the chain can hang nicely and you just kind of find the holes and it slides on and just kind of all hold it up in place. And then once it's seated, I can just turn it right back up again. It's just like a little trick, it's nothing crazy, but it makes this way easier when you're doing it by yourself. Alright, so here is my head. It's all machined, it looks beautiful. It's got the SuperTech dual valve springs and retainers. It's also running the SuperTech exhaust and intake forged valves. It's got a super clean deck. Thank you, Travis, for saving me. And honestly, we're gonna put this thing right on because it's ready to go. now that that thing's held on there. All right, so now that the head is on and all the ARP hardware is greased and put on there, it's time to do the staging where we do 15 or 25 first. I'll look it up on the ARP website. We go 25, 50, 75, all in 3 equal increments. So I'm gonna look up the ARP head stud spec and just get started. It's pretty easy. All right, so if you're doing this at home, this is the picture that you guys are gonna wanna look up. This is the ARP hardware specifications with the numbers and the sequence. It's a super easy procedure to follow when you're doing this. So I like to just kind of set it up on the motor like this and zoom in, or just like that. And then I can just go for it. All right, so we're done with all 3 phases. We're torqued down to the final ending place of 85 foot-pounds on all 14. I know the book says 75, but I like to go just a little bit tighter because I've known people that have head gasket problems, especially with these MLS gaskets. But I've never had a problem running 85. I've never broken a bolt. I've never over-torqued it. And you know, I think it's gonna be fine. So we're gonna let it sit overnight. In the instructions and in the Bentley manual, it says to let it sit for a couple hours or something like that. So now that it's all torqued down, we're gonna let it sit overnight and come back tomorrow, install the cams, the water pump, all the accessories, time it, all that stuff. But for now, we're gonna say goodnight. All right guys, we are back for day 2. I just checked all the torques on the head studs. They all are perfect, so that's great news. We're just gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna start putting the cam trays in, the cams and time it and all that stuff. And this thing should be a breeze, honestly. It doesn't really take too much. I'm gonna kind of go through in the video, talk about torque specs and how to put things together, but let's get back to it.
I just came to get my money right. You really wanna party, you should know that I don't compromise. You really wanna step up, you can step up and get up tonight. If I know I'm with it, whenever, okay, you know it's right, 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 right. I'm in that old school Chevy with the top back.
All right, so now that the cam trays are in, you guys just saw me use these little red blocks. I'll try to put them here. I don't know if you guys can see it too well or have it focused, but it would help because they're upside down. But these little blocks here are Alien Engineering. They're from a buddy called Perry. He helps me with all the turbo stuff, but he makes these little 3D printed caps with magnets on the bottom. And you just kind of put them right on the cam tray and they hold the lifters in place so that when you can take them out, put them in, all that stuff, and not have your lifters fall out. So this is a great product. I'll try to link it in the description. They're cheap, they're worth it. I'm gonna use them every time. But the trays are in. Now I'm gonna grab the cams. We're gonna put the caps on, torque them down, and spin it over, and it should be pretty good.
ever drop that, 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 drop that. Big stains dripping on the room.
Alright, so now that I placed all the caps on the top there, one thing that I like to do is I like to retard the timing just about 20 degrees or so to bring the two pistons 1 and 6 down, just enough so that when I tighten these down and the valves start to protrude, they're not going to hit the top of the piston. So we're just going to twist this back a little bit just to move it out of the way.
Chevy with the top back, butterfly doors, watch them flutter when I stop that. Aim in my palm, ain't no way I'll ever drop that. Stains dripping on the road, you can mop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, whipping on the road. Pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that. Aim in my palm, ain't no way I'll ever drop that, 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 drop that. Big stains dripping on the road. Come to party, I can get my money right. If you wanna party, you should know that I don't want to. If you wanna step up and get up tonight. If I know really never, okay, you know the street. Right, 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 right. Chevy with the top back, the five dunes, watch them photo when I stop that. Ain't in my palm, ain't no way I'll ever drop that. Stains dripping on the road, you can mop that. I'll ever drop that, 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 drop that. Big stains dripping on the road. I just came to get my money right. If you wanna party, you should know that I don't want to fight. If you wanna step up and get up tonight. If I know really whenever, okay, you know the street. Right, 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 right. I'm in that old school Chevy with the top back, butterfly doors, watch them flutter when I stop that. Aim in my palm, ain't no way I'll ever drop that. Stains dripping on the road, you can mop that. That, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, whipping on the road. Pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that. Aim in my palm, ain't no way I'll ever drop that, 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 drop that. Big stains dripping on the road. Party, I just came to get my money right. If you wanna party, you should know that I don't want to fight. If you wanna step up and get up tonight. If I know really whenever, okay, you know the street. Right, 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 right.
Alright, so the motor is finally fully assembled. I'm really excited. It came out really clean. Everything went well. It's timed perfectly. Everything's all torqued down. I'll put some of the torque specs down in the description below, just so you guys can kind of look there for if you're looking for specific parts throughout the build process. I'll just put them there so you can see them. But now that it's pretty much ready, it's time to yank the S52 out. So we're gonna start doing that. But I think that's gonna be it for this video. So stay tuned for more turbo E36 content, and the next video we're going to be putting this thing right in and yanking this out, so stay tuned. Thanks.